Afternoon, guys. Just wanted to do another segment today. Just for everyone at home, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos. Today is going to be just done in the format again. We're on 3 different platforms. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're live on YouTube as well. Just for anybody at home, if you don't have one, there's the other 2 that you can sort of back it up with. So today I'm actually going to talk about different adverse reactions. What reactions can be for. I'm going to focus on ivermectin again today, and the reason for that is we have so many clients on our list that have taken that as a possible solution to some of the problems they're having in the past, and we know that it does cause and can cause a lot of different issues just depending on what they're being treated for and how heavy the dosage was. Now, I'll start by sort of saying that predominantly, and we know that used by veterinarians, it's really effective. And one of the main reasons is that dogs can have it in quite high doses. The other thing that I'm going to touch on today is a study that was done by the North Carolina State University, and it was done by Dr. Robert Dunn. I've read a lot of his research myself personally, so if you guys want to just check out Google some of the stuff that he's done out there, especially in relation to Demodex mites, there's some really effective studies that sort of back up what we do here at Ungex, and we use it as a guide for our research and development team as well when we're coming up with different solutions and designing the protocols for you guys at home to use. So that's sort of what I'm going to touch on today. And one of the main things, and something that sort of happened on the Demodex mite support group recently, is we've had a few clients that have had sort of a dual diagnosis. So that's a diagnosis where they're suffering from a Demodex mite infestation, and due to having a lower immune system, whether directly related or not, then they're suffering from another type of parasite or not, or that's one of the understandings, one of the hypotheses that's what can be causing it, or leading sort of towards a dual diagnosis. So I'll start off by saying a lot of people that are suffering from that dual sort of diagnosis, if there's multiple types of parasites, and predominantly they're going to be prescribed with ivermectin. It's the most widely used thing to treat internal parasites. It's also used to treat external parasites as well. So as I've said before, it's not a complete solution. For a complete solution, you really require a full treatment plan to go along with it if you have the externals as well. The internal parasites as well, but for the externals, when you have the dual diagnosis, and you need a complete treatment plan as well, and you require a protocol too. So all the healthy habits we say that encourage a strong and healthy immune system, like not smoking, not drinking, not using other cosmetic products that are going to feed the mites. We go into this a lot in the videos, and I'll touch on it a little bit further as well. But for now, I just sort of really want to get into ivermectin, what it's used for, and some of the negative effects that it can have as well, and some of the things that it can sort of lead to. Now, the main focus of this video is talking about how there are some symptoms that people have that are adverse reactions to ivermectin, and how they can think that it's possibly related to the Demodex mites or the Ungex protocol or product directly. So I just want to pop as many facts out there as I possibly can for you guys at home, and that way you can sort of make up your own minds. It can help you do some more research as well. I'll give as many references along the way as I possibly can. But yeah, please don't quote me 100%, guys. Like I said, I'm not one of the guys in the research and development. I provide as much information as I possibly can, but feel free to check any of the references I drop, or any of the questions that you might have. You can pop in the comment section, and I'll get back to them. If there's something I haven't been really clear about, or if you're not sure and you want to know more about it, just hit me up. If I have to do more research and come back to you guys, that's what I'm here for. So please, it's always going to be a growing sort of a thing we do here. As a company and as a Demodex consultant myself, I want to be able to help you guys as much as I possibly can. So if there's any information that you want me to know for other people in the future, or for yourselves, and you want me to find out, just feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to chase it up as quickly as I can. So I suppose one of the most widely asked questions I get asked about ivermectin is it safe? Now, going to one of the major manufacturers, the most strongly worded argument I can find from them was directly oral ivermectin appears to be a safe medication. So that's what they've said. So I'm going to go into some of the things that have happened with adverse reactions and stuff, just coming from people that have used it. They're their own clients themselves. So as I stated earlier, it's commonly used in dogs, and it's commonly used in dogs successfully. And the reason for that is it can be used in higher dosages for them. And what that means is they're not going to have anywhere near or as many adverse reactions as humans would, and they don't need as higher humans. We don't need as high dosages as the animals do themselves, or can't have as high dosages as animals. So obviously, it's not as effective in humans. I mean to say, excuse me. Anyway, both internal and external parasites are frequently treated with ivermectin, and what I'd focus on with canines especially is Demodex mange. So in addition to that, though, it's commonly already in a lot of heartworm prevention medicines for canines as well. So and that is effective because we're talking about an parasite there. So as with many drugs, higher dosages tend to have higher risks of complications and of course potential side effects associated. So dogs can have a higher dosage, which means it's more successful that they be treated, and they're less likely to suffer those adverse reactions. But they're quite similar in cats, in dogs, and in humans as well, the adverse reactions that can occur. So some of those things, and this is especially in relation to cats, so we can have agitation, crying, we can have a lack of appetite, dilated pupils, paralysis of their hind legs. Obviously that one isn't going to be occurring in humans. Muscle tremors, disorientation, it can cause blindness as well. And there's other things like there's neurological signs. We know that they do a lot of head pressing and things like that because it can lead to headaches in humans. So we're assuming that it's leading to headaches in them as well. So dogs can suffer the same side effects as those. We also know that with them and with humans as well, vomiting is something that's quite common. Lack of as well, and obviously that's going to lead to dehydration. So the major thing that I'd sort of point out about the Ungex protocol and the Ungex products at this point is for any external parasite that we're talking about that can be on the dogs in relation to your ticks and your fleas and your lice, your Demodex mange. In both animals, the PDT would be extremely effective at treating it, and it'd be treating it without it actually having any of these adverse reactions on the animal. So it's something that we advise more. It's just something people have to weigh up at home, whether it's cost effective to be able to use it on the animals. We know that it's a safer treatment, it's a better treatment. Hopefully in the future it'll become more cost effective. At this point in time, it is what it is, predominantly designed for human use. But yes, we know from testing it on the parasites themselves, not testing it on the animals, that it's effective in killing those parasites. So that's something really positive for everyone at home. We know that we can use it to treat those parasites as well. So, and the best thing about it, once again, is just that the PDT wouldn't have any of these adverse reactions in treating these animals. And it's the same as with humans. We know just from working with the clients that we're having some really fantastic results with the protocol and with the product for everyone at home. We're getting like absolutely bombarded with positive stories and very, very, very few negative ones. And there isn't these adverse reactions that are happening with people that are just using the PDT, following the Ungex protocol strictly, and not using the ivermectin at the same time. So I really want to stress in this live video, it's something we're sort of being concerned about, that people are using this and they're having adverse reactions that are the same as what's described by the pharmaceutical companies that are making it themselves. And then they're getting worried about whether the Ungex protocol, which is naturally based, it is causing some of these reactions. So I really wanted to get stuck into that for you guys at home today, and hopefully I can clear some of that up. So now, this is in relation to just the oral tablets, so I'm not talking about anything topical at the moment. So ivermectin, it's well tolerated compared to other agents that are used for treating internal parasites. So as I said, we know that there's a long list of reactions and things that people can have, and I just want to help people at home separate that from anything they're worried about with the Ungex. As my personal clients know, I use Ungex myself. It's what's brought me into the industry, and it's something that I'm not going to stop using. So yeah, basically a personal opinion, I'll set that aside and I'll just read out the facts. So the majority of reactions caused by ivermectin can usually be treated with things like aspirin, basically painkillers, and things that tend to occur with less frequency during periods of treatment are things like ocular effects. So some of these side effects can include eyelid edema, so anterior uveitis, blurred vision, conjunctivitis, limbitis, punctuate opacity as well, and the abnormal sensations in eyes, as well as some other effects as well. But a lot of these effects can be related to a particular type of treatment with ivermectin, but not strictly limited to. So loss of vision, they're stating, has occurred rarely and usually resolved after that as well, which translates to some people have gone blind from using it. So it's something that I'd sort of, for any external parasites, once again bringing it back to the PDT and Ungex protocol and product, if this is being used for an external parasite, something that I'd suggest not advise when we can treat those things with a treatment plan, a protocol, and a product that's naturally based that doesn't have these adverse reactions. So that's something fairly significant, I think, when we're talking about the pros and cons of using an antibiotic or using a protocol and a treatment plan if we're talking about dealing with external parasites only, namely Demodex mites, bed bugs, so bird mites, things of this nature. Basically, the other things, I won't go on too much longer about it, guys, but there's times when there's been some nervous system effects as well, and these are in relation to external mites, and some of them have been really serious, and there are some fatal listings as well in relation to these medications. So yeah, it's something just wanted to clear up. And the other things, if PDT had been used treating the external parasites in those matters, then yeah, well, it's unfortunate that's happened. But along with its negative effects as well, they're saying that ivermectin can cause unwanted side effects. So I've gone into that like quite a lot, but I suppose one of the first and the most commonly reported symptoms, these guys are really common, and it's something that I experience like on a day-to-day basis dealing with clients that are using ivermectin along with Ungex protocol. So we're talking about fever, itching, and skin rashes especially. Now this is listed as one of the side effects of ivermectin. So it is something that does joint and muscle pain as well, painful and tender glands in the neck, armpits or groin, and it can cause a rapid heartbeat as well. Then to add to that, there's headaches, swelling of the face, hands, arms, feet or legs, diarrhea, dizziness, and skin rash and itching as well. So anyone sort of using it at home in conjunction with Ungex protocol, if it's because of dual diagnosis, we're not telling you to stop doing it. Always consult a doctor. However, there is an alternative when we're talking about just the subdermal parasites like Demodex, so Phallocorum and Brevis. I just want to make that really clear in relation to the PDT. It's something that you guys at home can use to give you relief from the symptoms that you're suffering from there. And most of my clients know this information. I talk about ivermectin quite a lot and some of the adverse reactions that it can have. But this is especially for anyone that's sort of new in the protocol and using the product, that's using ivermectin at the same time, that's worried about like what reactions what. So I just want to try and sort that out as much as I possibly can. I won't go too much further in it, but there's some other things as well. So there can be gastrointestinal issues with it. And there's some other things like fatigue, abdominal pain, chest discomfort, facial edemas, and peripheral edemas as well that it can cause. So I might move away from that a little bit, guys. I know I've taken up a fair bit of time. I don't want to go on for too long about that, so I'll move that to the side. And if there's any more questions about any of the things I've touched on in that part of the live video, can you guys just hit me up in the comments section, please? And please at home, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so we can hit you up with all the information you need. That way, especially if you're asking questions directly to us, I can get back to you directly, or I can answer them in the next live video. And if there's anything that I've missed, guys, please, yeah, let me know, and I will try and address it as quickly as I can. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's something that I've referenced in videos before in the past, was a study done predominantly by Robert Dunn. It was done out of the North Carolina State University. So it's in relation to treating. One of the studies was 29 people, another one was 18. So one of the things that they found in the study was that 100% of the people that they tested that were over the age of 18 actually had the Demodex mite. So they were surprised in how many that they found. And this is the first one with the 18 people that were tested. It was a research study that was done just with scraping. So the same test that we do here. Behind me, I've got the microscope there. It's something we do in the office. So I can tell you guys at home as well. There's many times that I've collected samples on the slides, seen the live Demodex mites and applied the PDT to them and watched them die quite quickly. So they can't survive it. That's guaranteed. That there's no way that it is actually a naturally based biocide. So you can't introduce that to a subdermal or external parasitic entity and have it survive. It's just impossible. And one of the other things that we've done is we've tested it on a cockroach. So a cockroach, as a lot of people know, it's the only organism on Earth that can survive not the epicenter of a nuclear detonation, but the second ring of radiation that you move out into. They can actually survive that, live in that, and dwell there and eke out a living for themselves. So the only creature on Earth that could do that, survive a nuclear apocalypse to that degree of radiation, and we spray PDT on them and they die. So they can't survive that either. So just for everyone to know at home, we know that the Demodex mites, Phallocorum, and the brevis can survive off the human host for 52 hours. Now, for a microscopic parasite that usually require a host to survive on, that's a really, really long amount of time. So they're very hardy, they're very tough, and I think the best way to treat them and to sort of test the product is to spray it on something that's even hardier, like a cockroach. So we know that it kills them. We know that they can't evolve past it. It's a biocide, so it attacks their nervous system directly, and it will kill them. And using the Ungex protocol, we're depriving them of the nice, luscious environment that they require. So that nice oil, the sebum that's produced by humans. We tell people as well, obviously, what products they can use as a moisturizer, what they can't use, so that way they're not feeding the mites and helping their population densities increase. I'll just jump back into the study for you guys and speak a little bit about some of the stuff that was done. So it's obviously determined in the studies as well that there's different DNA ratings for the creatures. So we know now that there's brevis and there's Phallocorum. So we've got brevis, and they're the ones that live in the sebaceous gland underneath the skin, and Phallocorum relate directly to ones that are sitting underneath the hair follicle. So they're down in the hair follicle. That's where they go about their business. That's where they lay their eggs. They can do this in the hair, like anywhere on the human body. So not just on the top of the head, but on the face as well as in the eyelashes. And all over the body, anywhere that there's hair. So I'll go back into what they're talking about is it's a 18S rDNA that was actually tested in the second study. So in that, they didn't just do a skin scraping like we do here at the office. They actually did a DNA test for those mites. And what they found when testing the 29 people was that 100% of those actually tested positive for the mites as well. Now, if they weren't able to find a live sample like we do at the office when we do the skin scrapings, that's what we try and do. They were able to find their DNA was present. Now, a lot of the time, if we haven't found Demodex mites present, we know that they're there because of the other tests that are done. What will happen is the person's come in, they've either wash really frequently. They've used the Ungex products recently, or they've been out during the day. So the Demodex mites dislike sunlight. So the UV radiation, they'll always flee underneath the skin. So that's where they like to hide. That's where they live. That's where they carry out most of their business. That's where they spend most of their time. It's once the UV light's dissipated that they come to the surface. That's when they propagate. So that's when they're for lack of a better term, having sex on the face, and eating, feeding, and then they go back underneath the skin. So either into the sebaceous gland, down into the skin, or in relation to the phallocorum. Demodex mites, they're going down into their hair follicles. So sorry to beat that to death, guys, but that's really important. And something I think I say it in pretty much every live video. So I'm really sorry if you're sick of hearing it. But I'll get back into some of the stuff we're forgetting the study now. So Demodex have not been sampled from the vast majority of mammal species, including those that seem very likely to host Demodex mites, such as chimpanzees and gorillas. So we've found them in what I can say is dogs, cats. We found them in humans. We found them in other rodents like rabbits, bunnies, rats as well, just in relation to those groups of rodents. So not being sampled in chimpanzees, as I was saying. So humans are one of those hosts that we sort of have around 5 million hair follicles as well, spread across the body, and there's 7 billion humans on Earth. So the total habitat area available to those mites is massive. It's immense. So methods that are used to collect the Demodex mites, as I said, they include a biopsy. That's what we do here with the skin scraping. There's a cellophane tape method as well, but the most effective test to have done is a DNA test for them. But good luck. There's pretty much nowhere that's doing that. It's too expensive to do, and we know just because of the amount of tests that have been done in the past in relation to how many people have tested positive, especially in relation to the 29 people that were tested, 100% of them, and then 18 it was 100%. And in the under so in the 18 age category as well, so we said that the people that were tested that were over the age of 18, they were all found to have the Demodex mites. The ones under the age of 18, there was 70% of those people were found to have Demodex mites present as well. So always like to sort of focus in on that and say that it's everywhere. And then once you become aware of it as well, anyone that's going through the treatment, the product, and the protocol at home, you guys will start seeing them everywhere. You see them and in the activity that they're causing on other people as well. So please, guys at home, don't be afraid to reference people. Let them know that we exist. We're out there. We can help. It's something we really like to do. We're pretty passionate about it. I have been pretty focused on getting out there on social media and making it like a well-known issue, something that people shouldn't be ashamed of. It's something that pretty much everyone's carrying. So we really just want to get to the bottom of it, treat it. Anyone who's having skin issues because of it, we want to be able to help those guys. And I'll sort of explain at this point as well, when you're having skin issues because of Demodex mites and you wonder if they're so common, if they're on everyone, why isn't everyone suffering from these same skin issues? Now, what I can explain is, now, not all the skin issues are completely and totally related to Demodex mites. However, what we've found, people that are suffering from the actual conditions that we're talking about, when they're treated, they're having relief of those symptoms. So we can say that as a fact. So working with these clients on a day-to-day basis works out really well for us here at the office because it's a rewarding thing to do, and we know we're providing these guys at home with relief. So that's something we can say is quite factual. I'll jump back into the study and just quote directly as well. With the 18 people that were tested that were of the age of 18, it was 70% of those guys who had the Demodex mites present that they found. So we're not saying that these are transferring from adult to child. What we're saying is, yes, they do cross-transfer. That's something that it does happen. What is being a topic of research at the moment. It's been when we really start producing those oils, the sebums that the Demodex mites like to feed on. So that's when we're finding that they're emerging. They get larger in population density. And what I was trying to really put my finger on before was the issues that they're causing, the people that are having these issues, wondering why other people, if the Demodex mites are so common, aren't causing the same issues on everyone. Now, the reason for that is, as we know, if the Demodex mites aren't directly related to autoimmune disorders they're causing directly, then we know that once the immune systems of the people go down that are suffering the population density increases we're talking about and the infestations we're talking about, they end up having more mites per square centimetre and per area than most people do usually. We know once those population densities increase, then that's when they actually start causing these problems. So I just wanted to make that really, really clear. Now, predominantly once it's first diagnosed, if it's diagnosed by a GP, especially in the US, ivermectin, it would usually be the first point of call. And I just wanted to bring it back to this live video today was about the relationship between some of the adverse reactions that people are having, the medication that's prescribed, and also the different range of skin issues and symptoms that the Demodex mites can cause directly themselves. So that'll be about it. I've run out of time today, guys, so I'm really, really sorry about that. If you've got any questions, always chuck them in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button and please subscribe, especially if you're going through the protocol and the treatment at home. A lot of the information that we throw out here is specifically targeted towards the people that have asked questions in the Demodex mite support group, so you guys are welcome to join that as well. And yeah, thanks for tuning in again, and I'll see you guys on Thursday and maybe Friday as well. I'm going to try and do some more impromptu videos just here and there. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks.